Welcome, everybody. We are live. Today, we have a great interview planned for you all. We are going to be interviewing Sarah from wonderhussy, and I'm going to bring her up now.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Great, man. I love your intro to your videos. I need an intro like that.
Thanks. It's something I just, you get, as you go, you kind of create new things and kind of create a brand, right?
Well, maybe you do. I need help.
We'll talk about that. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Couldn't be better.
You just had the shot and you're feeling all well?
Yeah, I got my second COVID shot. Everybody told me all kinds of doom and gloom about how sick I'd be, and knock wood, I'm on day 2 and I'm hale and hearty as a horse.
Perfect. So you're ready to get into this interview then?
Yeah, ask me anything, and I do mean anything.
Oh dear, I could get myself in trouble here.
Oh dear, you're so nice, Canadian. Oh dear.
It's my mother. She was from the Maritimes.
Oh.
Okay, so you started your channel, what, 9-10 years ago? Like, officially, but got into doing wonderhussy, what, 6 years ago? Something like that?
Yeah, well, Google counts your channel start date as the first time you ever throw up a video. Okay,
Yes.
So yes, 9-10 years ago, I put up a video, but it was just a joke. I didn't get serious till I would say like November 2016. So about 4.5-5 years.
So what made you decide to get into YouTube then?
Well, I stumbled into it accidentally. I mean, yeah, I was throwing videos up just for fun, but I happened to be at an abandoned. Well, I happened to be driving back from Burning Man in northern Nevada, back down to southern Nevada, and I passed through a very desolate part of Nevada that had all these abandoned buildings, one of which turned out to be an abandoned brothel, and the other one was an abandoned casino, like a whole little ghost town. And I just love abandoned stuff, so I go, oh, let me go out. And instead of taking pictures, I took video. I don't know why, just to put on Facebook. But then I thought, oh, let me upload that to YouTube and see what happens. And they got a lot of views, and I got a lot of emails from people going like, wow, that was amazing. You should upload more stuff.
That's neat. You kind of stumbled into it then.
Totally, man. I did not know what urbex, urban exploration, was at all, but I got these random emails from people going, yeah, you should do more urbex. Like, who? What is this? I'm like, oh, okay, it's a thing, I guess. And then right after, that was like August, after Thanksgiving, November that year, American Thanksgiving, I happened to log into my Google account to see if I had accrued any funds, any money, and I had like $700 waiting for me. Now, mind you, that was all the money my channel had been earning since 2011, okay? Back then, you didn't have to have 1,000 subscribers, blah, blah. They would just let you monetize immediately. So that was like 8 years worth of revenue with $700. But I got excited, like, oh, I can actually make money doing this. Well, all right, I'm going to see what I can do about making this at least part-time income.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So what made you choose to move to Vegas?
Well, I was one of those people who never knew what I wanted to be growing up. So I went to college because that's what everybody said to do. And I got an art degree because everybody said, just do what you love. You'll figure it out. Well, I never did figure it out, but I ended up with an art degree, and I was living in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is one of the most expensive places on the planet, or was back then, and probably still is. So I thought, golly, I'll never be able to afford anything here, and it's boring. Like, for some reason, Vegas always seemed like a really interesting place. Like, I like stories and kind of like down and out, rough and tumble. I don't know. That's what attracted me, just like the weird stories and the weird people here. And initially I thought, oh, I'll just live here for like a year or two. But then that darn lack of direction got me again. And well, next thing you know, I've been living here 5 years. What am I going to do? And it took me a while, but I really did grow to really like living here. And I do like living here now.
Oh, it's a very, I mean, it's a unique place. I've got a cousin that's he's part-time realtor and part-time pastor in Vegas.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of churches here.
Okay, Sin City, you need all the churches for it.
No, I think there's more churches per capita in Las Vegas than any other city in the U.S. Fun fact.
Wow.
And I don't know if that has anything to do with the Sin City aspect or what, but that's just the way it is.
So you're driving around in a what is it now? I can't remember.
I currently have a Toyota 4Runner.
Okay. What's one of the craziest vehicles you've ever had?
Well, that's easy to answer. When I moved here, I haven't had that many vehicles. I've only had 4 vehicles, okay? But my second vehicle was a 1986 Lincoln Town Car that was bright bubblegum pink with a white top and a white interior. I had it customized the day before I moved to Vegas. I picked it up, and then I drove it or sailed it. It was like driving a land yacht. It was 18 and a half feet long. I mean, it's from, like, you watch all those mafia movies, that's the car they drove, similar. You could hide at least 5 or 6 bodies in the trunk. You could easily stretch out and sleep on the back seat. Like, it was a boat. So I drove that out here. Drove it for, 7 years. And had a lot of adventures in that car, man.
I believe it. People would have seen you coming for miles.
Yeah, that was the downside to it. So when the pink Lincoln finally conked out, or I should say when my boyfriend made me get rid of it finally, I go, what am I going to get now, man? Where do I go from a 86 bright pink Lincoln Town Car? I go, well, there's nothing that I can afford that will compete with that. So I went the opposite direction because I didn't have any anonymity at all in that pink Lincoln. You know, like if I went to the adult store or someplace like that, like everybody knew I was there. So I go, I'll get a white Ford Ranger pickup truck, which at that time was pretty much ubiquitous. There was tens of thousands of them in Vegas. So I got a white pickup truck, and no one really knew who was who. You know, I could just easily disappear into the crowd. It was great. Loved that truck.
We did a renovation for a client, and they owned a porn shop. So I had to go to the porn shop to collect checks.
Yeah.
And of course, my truck stands out. It's like, okay. So it's like, I know what you mean by that. Bright pink car. Everyone knows you're there.
Yep, they sure do. That's why it's best not to hide anything.
Oh, exactly. You know what? I think it's harder to lie than it is than to tell the truth, because you got to remember all your lies.
Oh God, yeah, forget it, man. That's why my policy is radical transparency, man. I put my whole life out there. No one will ever be able to blackmail me with like nude photos of myself, because guess what? They're already all out there.
No, exactly. It's you're being honest, and there's nothing to hide.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's really cool.
Oh, thank you. It's working out for me so far.
So let's get into that a bit then. What made you decide to get into the whole nude modeling side of things?
Well, I needed money, I guess is the short answer. I was already working as a model, doing like trade shows and conventions and promotional modeling type gigs. And then I broke up with this guy that I was dating that was very conservative, like great guy, but he was very socially conservative, square. And when we broke up, you know, we had an amicable breakup, but I thought like, all right, now I can be my freaky self again. You know, I can be me. So I started going to Burning Man. I started doing all these crazy things. And I go, well, if I'm such an open, free-spirited person, then why won't I pose nude? Like, why do I have this like weird moral opposition to it? So the first nude photo shoot I did was just to prove a point to myself. It was for free. And then I realized, oh, well, gee, I could make money doing this. And at that time, I needed to make extra money because I had a bad mortgage. It was during the 2008 housing crisis. So I started nude modeling on the side in addition to my other job at the time, just to make extra income, man. And then I ended up doing it for like almost 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow, indeed.
Yeah, no, it's like I've got a photographer friend of mine that, I mean, when I was in the modeling industry, she was a model agent as well. And she used to take photos of the models. But now she does nude models.
Oh, really?
Actually, I think she's in Vegas. I'm not sure. I'll have to find out. But yeah, she's really talented. She does some really creative stuff.
Oh yeah, I worked with a lot of really super cool people, really talented people. You know, yeah, I worked with some pervs and some hacks, but hey,
You're
that's
always gonna find those.
yeah, that's any path you take in life. So on the whole, I would say it was a overwhelmingly positive experience, and I got a lot out of it. Firstly, I learned to be comfortable naked in front of anyone. Secondly, well, I was doing a lot of driving because my business model was I would pick the photographer up at his hotel and then drive him around the desert to all these different desert locations to pose. Now, I'm not the best looking woman in Vegas. There's a ton of more beautiful women here than me, but none of them were willing to do that. So I had like a monopoly on the market. I stayed very busy. No one else was willing to do what I did. So I'm driving these dudes around the desert all day, every day. I got very good at the art of conversation because you're spending a lot of time in the car with a strange guy. Got to make conversation. So not only am I comfortable posing naked or being naked in front of anyone, I'm comfortable talking to anyone. And most importantly for me, I also got developed an appreciation for the desert and abandoned places because that's the kind of locations we would shoot at. And so that's what led me into YouTubing. Eventually, I got more into scouting out new locations for photo shoots than I was into the modeling.
So do you think that's something that helped break down some of your barriers for your shyness?
No, I mean, just to be completely crass, what helped me get over my shyness was alcohol. Right around the time I started drinking, they call it the social lubricant for a reason. It just helped me become comfortable enough being around strangers to not be shy. Like when I first moved to Vegas, I was very shy. And the first job that I got, I was a photographer. Like when you go see a show in the casino, the photographer comes around, hey, get together, let me take your picture. And then they sell it to you, try to sell it to you after the show. Well, that was my first job. And it was so difficult for me as a shy person to go into a room full of strangers and approach them and then try to sell them something that was obscenely overpriced that I had to have a drink, like one little cocktail every night before work. And it wasn't like I was slugging whiskey. I would have like a Malibu and pineapple or something really weak and girly, but just enough to where I wasn't, too timid to approach people. And so I did that for a few years. And then eventually I realized like, oh, I don't even need to have a drink anymore. I'm genuinely comfortable approaching strange people. And so it worked for me. I mean, I never did develop a problem with alcohol. I'm sure it could be totally different for other people, so I'm not recommending that. But for me, it was definitely a useful tool.
Yeah, I can understand that. For me, it'd probably take a few shots of Sambuca.
Sambuca, yeah.
So what do you think your craziest job ever was then?
Oh man, you said you wanted to keep this PG though. Well, I'll just say this.
Oh dear, what did I get myself into?
It's fine. I'll keep it PG. While I was working as a nude model, I also did a lot of fetish modeling. So like these weird fetishes people have for socks or feet or just there are so many of those that were so weird, but I'll just say the weirdest because I got to pick one. Apparently there's a fetish for a blueberry, women blowing up into blueberries. Like remember in Willy Wonka, the old Willy Wonka movie where the girl chewed that gum and she blew up into a blueberry? Remember that? Okay, that's a fetish with some people. And I thought about it, and I think I have a theory as to how they came by that fetish, but we won't go into that, keeping it PG here. But so there was this studio here in town where this woman does nothing but videos of women blowing up into giant blueberries. So one example, I did one where I played a scientist. She always had these little like plots, right? So for this video, I'm a scientist in the lab, wearing a lab coat, my hair's up, I got glasses on, I'm like test tube, trying to develop the world's biggest blueberry for Monsanto. I'll win the Nobel Prize for this. I'll cure world hunger. I'm going to make the biggest blueberry ever. Well, then guess what happened? I spilled a little bit of serum on my hand. Oh no. Well, just one drop. Surely that won't do anything. No. Guess what? Next thing you know, it started blowing up and turning blue. And then next thing you know, the buttons on the lab coat pop off. And then I won't give away her trade secrets with this, but essentially she had this big inflatable suit. That was what was making you blow up. And her assistant accidentally overinflated it in this video so that I actually exploded, which was every blueberry fetishist's actual fantasy. But that could never normally be fulfilled because the inflatable suits were very expensive. So she would never blow them up to the point that they'd explode. But this one time, it was an old suit, whatever, it did explode. And so it was like the #1 selling blueberry video of all time for a long time on that lady's website.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Well, you asked me what the weirdest job I ever had was. I mean, I also worked at weird.
So, I was going through all your videos, and
Not all my videos. You didn't see that blueberry one.
no, I didn't see that one. I saw some, but none of those. You just reached fairly recently 100,000 subscribers.
Well, no, I actually reached 100,000 about a year ago, but they never sent me my trophy. You know how you get that little trophy? So they finally sent me my plaque a couple months ago.
So what's it like to reach 100,000?
I mean, I didn't notice any difference in my day-to-day life or in my revenue stream necessarily, but it's just kind of like a feeling of accomplishment, you know, like, oh yeah, woo, 100,000, you know?
Yeah, you've reached a kind of a landmark, which is kind of cool.
A landmark. I mean, I remember when I hit 10,000, I was really excited because at that time, YouTube had these production studios that you could go in and use all their equipment for free if you had a minimum of 10,000 subscribers. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they still do, but so I was really excited when I hit 10,000. You know, like, well, now I can go use the YouTube studio. Did I ever go use it? No, but still.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that's a tangible benefit to 10,000. 100,000, there's no tangible benefits to it. It's just a feeling of accomplishment.
Oh, and I mean, it's a great number to reach because there's not a lot of people. Like, a lot of people will drop out early because they're not getting their numbers or they don't want to put in the effort.
Well, it's a lot of work. I think it's what you know as well as I do. It's way more work than most people think.
Yeah, and you put out a video once a week too, right?
2, sometimes 3 a week.
Yeah, and that's a lot. Like, I've got a friend that does 5, and I'm going, no way. Like, I do 1 and I do a live, and I might do another one, but it's a lot of work.
It is. Well, especially like with mine, like I try to do like full production with sound and music and everything, and you know that's where it gets time consuming.
Oh yeah, and editing your hour and a half of footage or more down into a nice little chunk that people will watch.
Yeah, but I enjoy the editing too. A lot of people go, oh god, that editing must suck. I actually really enjoy the editing. It's a creative part. It just, you know, it is time consuming. It is.
Just quickly going over here to the chat to see if there's any questions on this side.
Yeah, come on, guys. I haven't done any live streams in a while because my last one was a complete disaster. The app kept crashing on my phone. I'm afraid to live stream myself anymore. So here's your chance. Ask me questions.
There's 95 people that are watching.
Oh, hi, everybody.
So what made you decide on the name wonderhussy?
Well, so I used to write for the local newspaper. So the local newspaper here is very politically conservative, socially conservative for Sin City, very square newspaper. But they decided they wanted to start a website that was that dealt with the adult subject matter in Vegas. Like, what are the nuts and bolts of like visiting a strip club or a legal brothel or things like that people wanted to know, but there was no like reputable resource to have those questions answered. So they started a little website that was sort of loosely affiliated with the paper, and they hired me to write for it. So I got paid to go to every brothel and strip club in town and, you know, write about it. It was really interesting. But I was constantly being censored by my editor. Like, oh, well, you can't really say that. Oh, you can't show that. It just got real old. Like, is this supposed to be a website about the adult business or what? Like, you're never going to get any viewers if you know, I just got very tired of being censored. So eventually I got laid off because the newspaper got a new publisher and he was even more conservative. So they closed down that website. And I thought, well, I'll just start my own website where I can say whatever I want and don't have to worry about being censored. What should I call my website? And so I came up with all these different ideas, just kind of bouncing around ideas, and wonderhussy was one of the ideas I came up with. And I asked some friends, like an informal focus group, and they all said, yeah, go with wonderhussy. And that's how I picked it. And that was just for my blog. I had a blog. Then I just sort of stuck with that name over the years. I even trademarked it so that now YouTube, I thought about like when I got into like started doing well at YouTube, maybe I should change my name. If I really want to be successful, I should be like Wonder Girl or Adventure Girl or something family friendly. But I guess it's just the contrary in me that won't allow me to change it, even if that means I'll never get a deal on the friggin' Discovery Channel or any, family-friendly network. That's fine. I'm happy being authentic to myself, and I think you can't undervalue that.
You're being you. You're being yourself. Exactly.
Yes, that's right.
Randy asked, do you have a boyfriend?
No, I don't have a boyfriend. I'm happily single, but thank you for asking.
Another question here. Do you wish to branch into acting?
I don't think I'd be a very good actor. I've had people offer me little parts in movies and stuff, but first of all, I don't know. Actors have to have like a really perfectly symmetric, beautiful face, and I don't have that. Trust me, I'm my own worst critic. So I don't think I have the face for acting. A, and B, I just don't think I'd be very good at it. Man, I like to be myself, like I don't like acting like someone else. Unless it's, pretending to be a scientist making the world's biggest blueberry.
Okay. Robert De Niro isn't perfect.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I'm telling you, you look at all these movie actors and they'll have perfect facial symmetry. Yeah, okay. Even like Danny DeVito, like, oh, he's so funny looking. Well, he's still like, it goes into evolutionary biology and like how people perceive faces and how healthy they are and who they want to watch. Unfortunately, my face isn't like that, but well, who knows? Somebody might hire me for a movie. One of these days, I might change my mind.
V asks, what is on your bucket list to see or to do?
Oh my God, my bucket list is 10 miles long. Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
It's okay. She's just put, I forgot the word left in there. So what's left on your bucket list?
Oh, plenty still left. I am checking stuff off as fast as I can, but guess what? As fast as I check them off, new stuff keeps getting added. So, just off the top of my head, there's a hot spring I want to go to in Alaska. That's really hard to reach, all the way at the end of a peninsula. That's on my bucket list. A lot of international travel is on my bucket list. I'd love to go see a lot of different countries, and unfortunately, because of COVID, I haven't been able to do that lately.
Yeah, we're all kind of stuck.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to ride a elephant through the desert in Death Valley. A lot of different things I'd like to do. My bucket list, it's always growing.
So Tara asks, what's your strangest encounter with someone when you've gone to a hot spring?
I recently answered an email. Somebody asked me kind of the same question, and I answered that person the same. I haven't really had any weird, pervert experiences at hot springs. I guess the weirdest thing is my sister and I were soaking at a hot spring in Idaho one time, and the name of the hot spring is Skinny Dipper Hot Spring. Okay, Skinny Dipper Hot Spring. And it has a little trail going up to it. You have to hike about a mile, and along the trail, there's a couple little signs posted that say, "Warning. You may encounter bear, B-A-R-E, bear." Okay, so it's warning you there's going to be naked people. Name of the hot spring is Skinny Dipper. Me and my sister got there. Nobody else was there. We took our clothes off and just enjoyed a lovely time soaking in the hot spring. Well, a few hours go by, and here comes a family. Mom, dad, sister, brother. Now, sister and brother were in their 20s. They were fully grown, okay? But mom and daughter kind of came up to the hot spring. Dad and brother stayed back down a ways. And they come up, kind of making conversation, but you could tell they were working up to ask us something. And finally they go, "Hey, listen, girls, you could say no, but would you mind putting your swimsuits on so our dad and brother can come see the hot spring?" Me and my sister were like, "Oh, what chutzpah?" They go to a hot spring that's called Skinny Dipper. There's at least 2 signs warning them there's going to be naked people. And then they want us to put on our swimsuits. And so I was of half a mind to just hand them the swimsuits. I'm like, well, tell your dad and brother they can tie these around their eyes if they're so offended by it. But then I thought, why be a jerk? They asked very nicely. They were and the way she said, "You can say no if you want." They were very nice about it. So of course it would have been churlish to do anything other than put on our dang swimsuits so that dad and brother could come on over and have a look, which they did. They only stayed for a few minutes and then they all left. And guess what? Off came the bikinis and we were back to soaking naked. That's the weirdest thing that's happened to me at a hot spring.
What's your sign?
My sign? Oh, I'm a Virgo. If you're into astrology, I'm the last day of Virgo, cusp of Libra.
Okay. Do you have a regular job, or is YouTube channel your only income?
YouTube's my only income now, man. And for a while, I was talking about this earlier, I was kind of modeling and YouTubing at the same time. And then people started hiring me instead of for modeling, people would hire me to take them around and just show them interesting things in the desert. So I was kind of doing that at the same time. But now, yeah, I don't even have time to do anything other than YouTube. It takes probably about, I'd say I work about 80 hours a week on YouTube. So I really don't have time to do any other work. And I make enough money to get by. I don't have an expensive lifestyle. My only expense is gas for my car. So yeah, I do just fine.
Because the YouTube side, you don't make a lot of money. So
Not really, no.
do you supplement that with something else?
I have a Patreon account where people can support me on the channel if they want. Sometimes people send me gas money in PayPal, or they just send me checks in the mail sometimes. So I'd say about maybe 1/3 of my income comes from just fan donations, and then the other 2/3 is YouTube ad revenue.
Okay.
But Vegas is a really inexpensive place to live. Fun fact, the property taxes are low. Taxes in general are low. We have no state income tax. So it's a pretty easy place to live cheaply.
Probably even more right now.
Well, now it's kind of weird because of the pandemic, although hotels are closed or have been closed. And so there's a lot of people that are unemployed and in financial dire straits. So I'm not sure what's going on right now, but typically, yes, very cheap place to live.
So I'm a little worried about asking this question. I'm supposed to ask you about your video, Spanky Spanky, that has...
No, that's not even it's PG. So back in the day, this was in like 2002, I had this friend who lived in LA who was a music producer, and he had the idea of like just recording a really cheesy, commercially successful song that was just really annoying, but one of those like earworms that everybody sings. So his inspiration was, I don't know if you remember that song Barbie Girl from back in the day. I'm a Barbie girl. I'll just write something real cheesy like that. So he took the old children's books, Dick and Jane. I don't know if you remember those books, Dick and Jane and their dog Spot. So he made a band called Dick and Jane, and then their dog was DJ Spot. He got this big dog costume. And he wrote a song that it was just sort of like a very light bondage song about spanking. I want a spanky spanky. I want a spanky spanky. And then this whole little electronic music track that went behind it. Like just very lighthearted fun, like innocent as the day is long. Long story, I didn't actually sing on the track. He had already recorded the track and somebody else's vocal was on it, but he wanted me to play Jane in the video. So we shot this video at this, it was an elementary school in LA somewhere. And I had to play Jane, you know, I was the good girl in school, cheerleader, and Dick was like the bad boy. And, you know, the dog came in and we started playing records. And next thing you know, we had the teacher tied up in a thing. We're spanking him. And oh my goodness. But it was all very lighthearted. Like there's no nudity or anything. And the video's on YouTube. You can look that up. Dick and Jane is Jayne. Spanky Spanky. Check it out.
That's funny. Yeah, she's saying it has 112,000 views. Or 100,
well, it should have millions, really. I mean, I made it before I was really comfortable being on camera. It's one of my main regrets in life. I'd love DJ Spot, if you're watching this video, I'd love to re-record that song with my own vocal and redo the video. It could be like 1,000 times better, man, but it's still good the way it is.
Have you ever explored any haunted sites in Nevada, and what happened?
Well, I've explored a lot of allegedly haunted sites and nothing at all happened. I mean, I'm a cynic, I'll be honest. I'm skeptical about haunted stuff and paranormal stuff, but I'm open to it. So I'm constantly going to these places that are supposed to be haunted and going in with an open mind. Like, do I see anything? Do I hear anything? So far, nothing. Now, I will say, last week, I stayed at a hotel in Ely, Nevada, up in kind of central northern Nevada. Old historic hotel. I don't even know if it's supposed to be haunted or not. But I kept getting woken up in the middle of the night by a mysterious vibrating noise. It sounded like my phone was vibrating, like I was getting text messages, but my phone was on silent. So it got so bad, I kept waking up at like 2:30 in the morning. I turned all the lights on, like looked under the bed, looked under the mattress, like, did somebody leave a phone in here? What is vibrating? I never did find anything, and it kept happening. So all of that just led me to believe that that hotel room, at least, must have been haunted by The ghost of a vibrator. Just a theory.
Okay.
Next.
I'll pass on that question. Here's a question for you. Do you have a team behind the scenes of your YouTube and Instagram, or are you a one-woman team?
Oh my gosh, I wish I had a team. I do everything myself, and it's getting to the point where it's almost untenable. Like I said, I work probably about 80 hours a week at least. I do all the editing, everything. My sister might be coming in to help me out with some stuff. Like I need somebody to help me do like stickers and merchandise. And like you guys, I noticed, have amazing stickers because you sent me some of your stickers. Yep. I need to beef up my merchandise department, and hopefully my sister will help me with that soon. But yeah, other than her, man, I'm all on my own, rolling solo.
It helps when you can do stuff on your own. I do all that stuff myself. So yeah, if you've got like family members.
You're also one person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then it is a lot of work.
Oh, it is. I mean, I got my son, I got my dog, but the dog doesn't help much. And my son, I mean, he does try to help, but he just loves going on the adventures. So
yeah.
But I
can handle it. The hardest part for me is like answering all the messages that I get, the email that I get. I have probably thousands of unanswered emails, and I feel really bad about that because I don't like being rude and not responding to an email, but it's just like
time consuming.
Yeah, it's physically impossible to answer it all.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's one of the things that happens when you start getting bigger is that you've got less time, because like I'm still able to keep up with my emails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm still small, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess that's part of having a lot of subscribers. I'm not complaining about it. I like it because I get really cool emails from people. I love the ones that have all the personal information. People tell me their life stories. I love it. It's just, oh gosh, I just don't have enough time.
What advice would you give to YouTube newbies, especially ladies?
Okay, well, the quick and cheap and easy route is just to be sexy and like wear yoga pants or show your boobs or whatever. But I feel like that doesn't really attract a lasting crowd. I know it's easy for me to say I have a name like wonderhussy, but I didn't go into it like wearing sexy outfits. My first couple videos, I'm not even wearing makeup. I'm just like all grubby coming back from Burning Man. So I would say don't be too overly sexy or cutesy about it, But my number one piece of advice for anyone, ladies or men, is just be consistent. You have to upload videos every single week and preferably on the same day of the week to create like a sense of like a rhythm, a sense of expectation. Like you gather a following that way. And yeah, sure, there's some weeks where, you're sick or you just don't feel like editing, you don't have time. You got to do it anyway. I have not missed a single Wednesday in the entire time since I started my channel. I'm very consistent about it. So that's my number one tip.
Well, I'm the same way because I'm Thursdays, right? But when I ended up in the hospital, I couldn't get that video out because I had
you could have done a live stream from your hospital bed. That would have been gold.
I know. I thought about that after. It's like, you know what? I should have videoed some of this. This would have made good content. It's like having the guy next to me moaning just because he's in so much pain, and the nurses.
And also might violate HIPAA policies, or I don't know what you guys have in Canada, but like privacy policies in hospitals.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten in trouble for filming in other places before. I was just like, okay, sorry, I apologize. So it might not have gone over too well, but
it would have been great content.
Oh, it would have. Okay, what else is here? It jumped on me. Are you moving out of Vegas?
Well, that is the question of the day. My sister and I have been looking for some property out in the desert because we want to kind of start a little ranch or bohemian compound. And well, I don't want to announce anything yet because it's not totally final, but I may be moving out of Vegas. in the future, yes. I probably won't go too far from Vegas, let's just say. I'll still come back and forth here. But yes, big changes on the horizon for me.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I'm tired. I mean, there's a lot to be said for living in the city, but woo-wee, with all the stuff going on right now, there's a lot to be said for living in the country.
So, on your adventures, you're going way out there. You're exploring all these ruins, the Mayan ruins, or the ruins, like the charcoal things that you were looking at, those beehives.
Oh yeah.
And all these other things. So, what happens when you lose cell reception? Do you have like a Wii Boost or a mini Garmin, or what do you use?
Well, I do have a Wii Boost, but let me tell you something. The Wii Boost is no match for Nevada. I mean, there's huge chunks of Nevada where there's zero signal whatsoever. For the Wii Boost to work, you have to have at least a little bit of a signal. And so that does come in handy a lot of times if I'm camping someplace with a weak signal. But there's a lot of times when there's nothing. And that is more of an inconvenience than like a deal breaker for me. I mean, if I only stuck to areas with cell signal, well, then I'd never go anywhere. So yeah, of course I prefer camping someplace where there's signal because I can stay on top of my email and business. But if a place is that I want to check out is someplace with no signal, it's not going to stop me. I do have a Garmin Inreach. It's like a little satellite device. The plan that I have, I can send 5 text messages a month. And I can, hit the SOS button if I need help. So I'm never like completely cut off, but a lot of the time I'm more or less, yes, cut off.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing around here when we're out in the woods.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You got little to no reception. It's
kind of cool to be cut off, Like I feel like we're so tied to the grid now. Like it's in a weird way, it's kind of nice to be away from that. But I'm still one of those people who really likes having cell signal because it just makes my life that much easier,
Mm-hmm. It does, because as soon as I can get on my phone in the hospital, I'm like on my phone, and nurses are like, "Put the phone away."
Oh,
so like, next shift comes, and there I am again, back on the phone.
Hey man, I know a lot of people bag on me like, "Oh, you're a city girl. Why do you have to have cell signal?" Because that's all of collected human information is all right here in this little device. Like it's like having an external hard drive of your brain. There's a lot of things I don't store in my brain. I store them here. And so if I'm all of a sudden cut off from that, it's like missing a lobe of my brain.
So here's another question. Have you ever been to Area 51?
Well, I've never been on the base because that's illegal, but I've been all around it. Yeah, sure, many times. Been up to the gate, talked to the guards. There's a place you can camp I think it's called Campfire Hill, this campsite that's like right on the perimeter where you can camp, and the Jeep will come up and check on you. I even went to a ghost town once that was way up around like the backside of Area 51. Really cool old ghost town, but it bordered right up against Area 51, so they even had like a little sign like no trespassing. I've been all around it, but I've never been in it yet.
Do you ever get in trouble?
No, I'm not one of them nosy, meddlesome YouTubers that, is going to be confrontational. I understand, it's their private place, whatever. I mean, I did hike up a mountain. There's a mountain you can hike up and like spy down into Area 51 from the top of it. I did that. I've done everything that's within my legal bounds, but never gotten in trouble.
That takes some of the fun out, though.
I don't know. I don't enjoy getting in trouble. I did get in trouble once for trespassing at Lake Mead, and that wasn't fun at all. So no, thank you.
Have you ever explored Native American ruins or sites?
Yes, I sure have. Off the top of my head, one of the coolest was Chaco Canyon in New Mexico. Ancient civilization with massive ruins of these huge multi-room buildings. Just incredible. Highly recommend visiting Chaco Canyon if you're into Native American history. That was my favorite. But I've been to a bunch of other, petroglyph sites and old caves that have evidence of Native Americans living in them. Bunches of places like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Starlink when it arrives?
Yes, I am. I can't wait. Elon Musk, if you're watching this video, please call me now. Call me yesterday. I need that thing. Whew.
Yes. Want to know if Sarah will go storm chasing with somebody. Oh, yeah, somebody wants to know if you want to go storm chasing with them.
I don't know, man. That's a little rich for my blood. I know it. I think that's when you're like chasing tornadoes, and yikes! I drove through that part of the country during tornado season one year, and there was active tornado watches going on. I was freaking terrified. So I'm driving, just trying to get through as fast as I can. Meanwhile, I'm trying to Google what to do if a tornado hits while you're in your car. And the only advice really is try to find a ditch and lay flat in it. Like, no, thank you. No. I take all kinds of crazy risks. Storm chasing is not one of them.
Okay. Really? Really? Okay, you've had your camera time. Can I get back to my interview?
My dog's behind me.
She always has to see. Okay, what are you doing? Oh, there I am. Oh, I gotta check myself out. Okay, time to get down now. Thank you. Okay. Question. Here's one. What was the scariest thing that you've done?
What was the scariest thing that I've done? Well, I haven't really done anything scary. I mean, what's scary to you might not be scary to me. Like some of the hikes I've done, if you have a fear of heights, you'd be scared by. I don't have a fear of heights. I don't really have a fear of snakes, spiders, so none of that stuff is really scary to me. Ghosts. I mean, this is like a buzzkill of an answer, but the scariest thing I've ever done was get a breast biopsy once. I mean, fortunately, it turned out to be benign, but that's really the scariest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, I had a YouTube channel at the time, but I didn't really vlog about it much because it was kind of early in my YouTube career, and I wasn't sure, like, what do YouTubers talk about? Like, my channel is all about exploring ghost towns. I shouldn't be talking about a biopsy, but boy, if it happened to me now, which knock wood it doesn't, again, I would definitely vlog about it because I find it very therapeutic. I know some people go, oh, that's oversharing, but to me, talking about stuff like that, it like sharing those kinds of concerns makes me feel a lot better. So,
well, you're sharing your personal life, and this is part of your personal journey.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't see an issue with that. I mean, for me, like I've got my other channel, which is the construction side, so I got them separated from the adventure side because they're two different things. But when you're on a journey, you're on an adventure, whatever it is, that's part of it. And
well, yeah. I guess I didn't understand that when I first started my channel. I looked at YouTube more like the Discovery Channel, like, oh, there's a show where this chick just goes and explores stuff. Like I've sort of come to understand that there's a million adventure channels on YouTube. Generally, people follow the channel because they like the person who's doing the adventures or their personality. So
or the dog.
Or the dog. Yeah, that's a big part of it too.
Show us the dog. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I get that a lot too. Unfortunately, my dog's too big to get on my lap.
So outside of Vegas, what is your favorite place to vacation?
Oh my gosh. Well, I really like California a lot in terms of biodiversity. They have it all: desert, mountain, beach. I love being by the beach, to be honest. I'm from California. I never lived like right on the coast, but I was always within like a half hour or so's drive. So I miss the coast, you know, like the sea mist, the fog, the moisture. Like, so whenever I get the chance, I love going to the beach, and not necessarily like a nice sunny Southern California beach. I like them foggy, rugged, cold Northern California beaches.
They're more mystical. Like they're, and it's really fun to film stuff like that too, right? Because you're
oh my god, yeah, the lights all beautiful and diffused. Oh my god, yeah, sunny beach, boring. Everybody's seen that in a million Beach Boys videos, but you go to the beaches, it's way more interesting.
Yeah, well, I see that one already. It's just like, oh,
yeah.
Okay. Someone's saying hi to Tosha the pug.
Aww.
Ever fly into other countries?
Yes, I have traveled internationally. Well, I grew up in Germany, so when I was a kid, I went to a bunch of different countries in Europe. And then as an adult, I've traveled to a few places. Most recently, I went to Namibia in Africa. It's a big desert country. Did a bunch of videos there. I went to Venezuela once before I had a YouTube channel. Unfortunately, couldn't make any videos because I didn't have a channel. And then mostly I just went to Baja, California. I didn't fly though, I drove. Mostly US, but I have traveled internationally, hoping to do more when these travel restrictions are lifted.
Yeah, you got Canada too.
I can't go to Canada. Well, I can, but it's going to be complicated because I had a drunk driving conviction 10 years ago, and y'all are very, very strict about allowing people with criminal convictions into your country. So my understanding is I have to just pay some kind of fine ahead of time and get it, blah, blah, blah. So yes, of course, I'd love to come visit.
Canada's got a lot of stupid laws in some ways. I mean, I understand them to a point.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like, aren't you guys the bigger boozers than we are?
Well, you can start drinking a lot younger. Like you're 21 there.
You're stronger too.
Yeah.
No, anyway, but whatever. I accept it for what it is, and it's fine. I think it's a pretty inconsequential fine. I can do it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of beautiful places up here.
Oh my God, no, I know. I'm into hot springs, and so I've heard so much about all the beautiful hot springs.
Yeah. There's some.
I have a lot of Canadian viewers. I have a lot of viewers from Canada, and they're always telling me about places I should visit. So yeah, I have a long laundry list of places to go. Ideally, I'd like to just drive around I'm assuming it's like the US where you have lots of free places to camp up there.
Yes, there's a lot of free camping areas. It's. I mean, there's no difference between Vancouver and Seattle, essentially. Yeah. Like weather-wise and stuff like that. Like if it's raining down there, it's most likely raining here.
Yeah.
Temperature-wise, we're pretty much the same as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'll get out there.
Yeah, no, there's some beautiful areas up here.
Well, I know. I believe it. I've seen lots of movies.
Yeah. Besides Burning Man, what is your favorite festival that you've been to?
Well, I haven't really been to a ton of festivals, so I guess I wouldn't say I'm like a festival person. I did go to one that was called Wasteland Weekend, so it's kind of like a Mad Max.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Mad Max Cosplay Festival. And that was actually way cooler than I thought it was going to be. Because somebody gave me the tickets for free. It was very kind of them, a viewer of my channel. I thought, oh, okay, I'll go check it out. It's free, whatever. Mad Max, okay. I made this headdress out of an old skull and all this stuff. But then when I got there, wow, yeah, the creativity was amazing. Like, people had spent all year making these wild costumes and these crazy cars, and that was a cool festival. I would totally go back to that.
Oh, that sounds awesome. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, and then another one I went to, it was a one-time only thing. I don't know if you remember, this was like 2 years ago, they had that Storm Area 51 thing, like, let's see them aliens. Yes. Yeah, well, they ended up turning that into like this kind of half-assed little festival called Alien Stock that turned out to be super fun. I had a great time at it. I was hoping they would do that again, but COVID.
Yeah, COVID changed a lot of things. How is Barry? We miss him.
Well, unfortunately, Barry was in a bunch of my videos last year. He doesn't like being recognized in public, which it was happening to him because he lives in a very small town. So people were coming up to him at like Home Depot, and he didn't like that. So he doesn't want to be in any more videos, and he doesn't even want to be talked about. So I'll just leave it at that.
We're done there. So what are some of your goals for your channel?
Well, I'd like to have 50 million subscribers and blah, blah, blah. I just like to continue to get by, I guess. You know, I mean, as long as I can pay my bills and have fun doing it and keep people entertained, I'm happy. I mean, I guess, yeah, it would be nice to grow, like get to 1 million subscribers, I guess. I don't know. It's not even really a goal of mine. I don't know. I'm kind of bad at goals, I guess.
You know, I mean, I think if you keep doing what you're doing, I mean, I don't see an issue with you growing to keep going, right?
Yeah, I don't have like a fast growth channel. I'm pretty slow growth, and that's fine because it's not quantity, it's quality. And if I had 1 million subscribers, I'd have that many more haters. Like right now, all the people who follow me are basically cool, like really nice, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So, what is something unique and different about yourself?
Oh God, where do I start? Unique and different. Well, I don't shave my underarms. I'm wearing a shirt with sleeves on it because I didn't want to gross anybody out, but that's kind of different, I guess, and unique. And it's very polarizing. People like either want to marry me or they want to kill me because of it. And honestly, I don't care one way or the other. I could take them or leave them. But the only reason I do grow them out is just because I enjoy seeing people's reactions.
So it's a way of getting people's reactions. That's why you do it?
It's just like a litmus test. If you're really grossed out by it and freaked out, well, then I have no time for you. Good day, sir.
It's like putting a big mole on your face.
Yeah, like if you're going to be that easily turned off, then I don't need you. You know what I mean?
Well, it makes it easier. One less thing to shave while you're doing your adventures.
I don't shave anything. I quit shaving my legs like years ago. I mean, you can kind of maybe see they're a little hairy, but God, you'd never know. The only hair, I'll be honest with you, here's a big secret. Just for viewers of Vancity Adventure. There's only one thing on my body that I remove hair from, okay? And it is, I remember, I have a mole on my neck. I can't remember if it's on this side or the other side. But there's a mole, and one hair, here it is, one hair grows out of it, okay? One thick, wiry black hair. So every now and then when the moon is full, I go to a crossroads, and I take a pair of tweezers, and I pull it out. That's it, though. All the rest of the hair can stay. It's all welcome to stay.
Oh, too funny. Okay, back to the chat for more questions. What's some of your favorite books, TV, or film?
Okay, I don't really watch TV. Well, I don't have a TV, but I watch stuff on YouTube, So, like, if I am watching, I'm into this show called I Shouldn't Be Alive. It's one of those adventure survival shows where, like, two dudes are kayaking and they get washed up on a desert island, whatever, but they're true stories. And some of them are amazing. So I like watching that show on YouTube. Other YouTube channels I think it's called Weird History. British guy. He does like weird history videos. He's cool. Movies. Well, I'm not a big movie person either. I don't really like to watch movies, but I did just see Nomadland. Everybody told me I had to see Nomadland, and it was good. I liked it a lot.
What's it?
Nomadland. It's about people in America living in their vans.
Bob
Wells was in it. Yeah. So that I liked that a lot. And then as far as books, I love to read. I just don't have a whole lot of time. I generally prefer nonfiction to fiction. But if I had to pick some fiction books, a couple of my favorite books, I like The Catcher in the Rye, which is a very trite answer. And I really like The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. I feel like that's a really, really, really good book.
It's been a long time since I've read that. Wow.
I just listened to the audio recording of it, and it was really good, man. I liked it a lot. Because I spend a lot of time driving, so I have all this dead time in the car. So audiobooks are one thing, or I listen to a lot of podcasts too.
Do you listen to what? Okay, here. What kind of favorite? What's your kind of music?
Oh my gosh, I love all kinds of music, man. And I'm kind of notorious in my videos. I'll start breaking into some weird song from the 40s or whatever. I like all kinds of music, and I'm not exaggerating when I say all kinds. Like, I listen to some really weird stuff, man.
And you know what? I guess if it works for the video too, I mean, it works.
Well, I guess you could debate that, but yeah, I do it whether it works or not.
Because that's sometimes the hard part for that I find is finding the music that just kind of works with that video, that just gets that flow to the audience.
Time consuming. That's the most time consuming part of editing for me is putting the music to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people go, well, why bother? Don't put music in the background. I don't know. I feel like it really adds a lot to it. Like, it can really enhance the mood and just makes the whole video feel more polished. I definitely like adding music.
Oh, I mean, if you watch a scary movie without the volume on, it's not scary because the music is what gets you your adrenaline going.
Or a sad thing or anything. And I don't know, like I've started looking at editing as an art form, which it is. I just never appreciated it as such until I started doing it myself. And adding music is like adding another color of paint or more colors in, you know?
It's a very creative process. I mean, yeah, you can look at it as from art.
Totally.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, totally. I have a mad respect for editors now.
Oh yeah, totally. Because it's not easy.
No, it sure isn't. And I didn't realize how much effect the editor has on the whole narrative overall, you know? A lot. The way you cut things can make all the difference.
So here's one. Do you have a recommendation? Do you have a recommended exercise and diet you follow?
Well, I used to be very good, especially when I was working as a model. I would go lift weights, 2 or 3 times a week for an hour, just do all the major muscle groups. And then I would try to run or do cardio other days. But they closed the gyms down for COVID, a year-ish ago or more. And that was the best day of my life, let me tell you, because I hated every friggin' second of every workout I ever did. And let me tell you, I lifted weights starting in 2003. So what was that, like 17 years? And every second of it was torture. I hated it. They go, oh, the more you exercise, the more you like it. Not for me. Anyway, they closed the gym. Well, darn it, I can't exercise anymore. So I thought, oh man, I'm going to get fat. Well, I haven't. I mean, you can see here, I'm still fit as a fiddle. I might have lost a little muscle tone, but it's all due to diet. You know, I just count calories, watch what I eat, and drink. A lot of calories are in sugary drinks, sodas and whatnot. Yep. Booze I'm a boozer. It's hard for me, but you know, I just try to keep track of it, not eat too much. And I do try to be active as much as possible, but you know, sitting on your keister editing all day, well, it's hard to be active. So, you know, I guess part of it is I'm lucky I have a fast metabolism, but I don't just eat whatever I want, junk. No, I try to eat healthy.
Try.
Chipotle. That's my secret, my diet secret. I'm the fast food or fast casual chain, Chipotle. They make burritos.
Good food.
Yeah, well, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that I have been eating at Chipotle probably 250 days a year for like the last, well, starting in 2012. So I don't know, 10 years almost. It's like the bulk of my diet. I go get the same thing every time, little burrito salad, beans, lettuce, healthy stuff. And, you know, hey, call me Chipotle. Give me a sponsorship deal.
I know that's one thing that I like too is when people reach out to you. Like you must get that a lot as well. You'll get people
like wanting you to give you free products if you do a review or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like for the most part, it's more trouble than it's worth because half the time the product is shoddy in my experience, and I wouldn't feel comfortable endorsing a shoddy product. You know?
No, I'll be honest, and that's what I tell them. It's like, you know, to be honest with you, if your stuff is crap, I'm going to say it's crap. If it's great, I'm going to tell. Yeah. Oh. Like I had somebody send me some headlamps. And he's like, have you tested them out yet? I said, honestly, no, I haven't. I said, because I just got out of the hospital. And he's like, okay. And I said, you're okay with me doing a review on this? Like, if it's good or bad? He's like, yes. He's like, because we believe in our product. I'm like, okay. And so far, I mean, I've kind of played around with them. They work great.
I've done a very limited number of product reviews on my channel, and those were all products that I actually really liked. So, you know, I mean, if somebody wanted me to, you know, review their new car and they were going to give me a car, yeah, sure, we'll talk. But, you know, like
a pink Cadillac.
Well, maybe like an off-road lifted, something I can get places in and sleep in the back in. A
lifted pink Cadillac. Limo.
If I brought all my cars together of my life, that'd be really, really interesting. But no, I think a helicopter. How about that, man? Then I could really get some places.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, but paying the gas for that, woo-wee, that would not be fun.
Well, yeah. It's funny because I just noticed somebody that I was looking through and I found the company I was following, and I was looking through their videos, and one of the helicopter pilots is actually one of my son's friend's dad.
Oh, nice.
I'm going, oh, I'm going to be doing a phone call.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gave me some ideas.
I like to have friends who are pilots because then you get to go cool places.
Yes. So on one of your videos, I noticed that you had a high shot. Do you have a drone?
I do have a drone, just a little DJI Mavic Mini, the lightest weight one that you don't have to, here in the US, you don't have to register that with the Federal Aviation Administration. Right, so I got that thinking that was the end of it. No, come to find out, if you want to use, in the US anyways, if you want to use that footage from that drone commercially, i.e. in a monetized YouTube video, well, then you have to go get an FAA license, a Part 107 license. And okay, fine, I'll go take this test, whatever. I didn't realize how friggin' difficult it was going to be. That was the hardest test I've ever taken in my life. I barely passed it, and that was after studying for a week solid and paying $100. So that, I think it's good for 3 years, and then I have to renew it. Will I continue to use a drone? Stay tuned.
Well, the good thing with the Mini is that, like, you can fly it in Canada, you can fly it in other countries too, because it falls under that 250, right? Where with mine, I can't, because mine's over, and I can't fly it in the States unless I get a Mini as well.
Well, but then there's a trade-off too. Like, the heavier drone, you have way better stability. Mine, like, the slightest wind, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and I've flown mine in some windy conditions, and even right near the waterfalls, and you can kind of see it moving a little because of all that, the wind and pressure coming up. But yeah, and it's got the sensors, so it makes it a little bit easier to control, and it'll track you, which is kind of why I went with the bigger one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did a lot of reviews, and kind of that's why I went that way, because the Mini it's an attractive way to go because there's a lot of ways that you don't need to register things. But in the States, you do. Canada, you don't. So the laws are a bit different. And for here, it's $10 to take a test.
$10? What a deal. Next, you'll be telling me you have free healthcare. Jeez. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Have you ever been to the silver mine town in Nevada?
Well, there's a bunch. Virginia City was a big silver mine town up near Reno, and yeah, I've been there. It's pretty cool. I'm sure there's more silver mining towns. Cerro Gordo was a big silver mining town, but that's in California, over the border. That might be what you're talking about too. That's where that guy Brent has his Living in a Ghost Town YouTube channel that just totally blew up the last year. I've been there too. That's a cool place.
Someone else saying that they don't shave either.
Yay, awesome.
Have you ever covered a Mustang Roundup?
Oh, no, I haven't. And I mean, I've heard that those are actually kind of, I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about when they round up the wild horses in Nevada. I've heard it's kind of traumatic because of the methods they use, and like the horses get all freaked out. So yeah, probably would be kind of traumatic, but it would also be very dramatic, and I would totally want to document it. It sounds really interesting. You know, I'm of mixed opinions about the whole wild horse thing. I know some people are like, oh, but they're horses, save them. But then that's like they're eating all the stuff that's meant for the native species. But then it's like, well, those native sheep probably came here from somewhere else too, and it's all very complicated. So there's no clear black and white like anything. Yeah, it's a shame when they have to round them up, especially if they're just going to kill them. But I don't know. I guess there's pretty good arguments for why they're doing it too.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Treo Gordo in California?
Cerro Gordo, yeah, that's what I was just talking about. That's the ghost town that guy just bought a couple years ago, and now he has a YouTube channel. Living in a Ghost Town. Seems like a nice guy. I did have somebody kind of reach out on my behalf to see about going up there to make a video, but unfortunately, my channel isn't big enough. He only works with channels that are, I mean, he didn't say this. He just never answered, so I'm guessing, you know, you got to have like a lot of subscribers to get his attention.
Okay. Have you ever been to Goldfield? Or
yeah, I've been to Goldfield a bazillion times. Or what?
Tonopah?
Yeah, Tonopah and Goldfield many, many, many times. I was just in both of those, oh gosh, about 2 weeks ago. You might have seen where I stayed at the Clown Motel in Tonopah in one of my latest videos. Great, great towns, both of them, love them.
Do you dive on shipwrecks?
No, I'm a really bad swimmer. Oh, didn't you ask me earlier if I was afraid of anything? Well, swimming. I'm not a very good swimmer. I'm not a water person. So diving into shipwrecks. I mean, I've been snorkeling a few times, but scuba diving, I don't know, man. I don't feel like it would really be for me. Although I would love to go in like a bathysphere, which is those like hardcore submarine devices that go like way, 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 way deep down into the ocean, like to the bottom of the deepest trenches. I would totally do that, even though that's like pretty dangerous. Because man, can you imagine like going down all those underwater that far where it's like pitch black and there's all these weird creatures that have evolved to live in this totally dark environment? Oh, it'd be amazing.
It'd be kind of scary too.
It'd be super scary, but I would do it. It's like I'm trying to get on this moon mission to go to the moon. That's gonna be scary too, but you'll go to the moon, like bottom of the ocean. Like, yeah, sometimes you have to take scary risks in life to see cool stuff.
True. With your Bohemian Ranch idea, would you have a full studio?
I'm not sure if you mean like a recording studio. The hope is that we're gonna have a really big, fun building that'll have all my books and maps and a lounge, and people can come hang out. And yes, I would like to be able to keep my lights up and stuff. So and a backdrop, and maybe even do like portraits of people because I have all these crazy costumes and stuff, and like do these wild desert portraits. And I have a lot of ideas for this property. Is everything going to work out? Probably not, but I'm going to do my darndest.
Someone said, I don't think women like the scuba dive.
Well, there's some women who do. I'm just not one of them. Woo-wee.
Yeah, I've known a few as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there's all kind of badass lady scuba divers.
Oh, yeah.
Just not me. I'm a landlubber. I'm a lizard, not a fish. I'd rather be laying on a rock in the sun.
I'm trying to get Wonder Hussy and her friends to get a ham radio license.
Oh, yeah, that is something I'm interested in. Ooh. But talk about a tough test. I mean, my understanding is that ham license is like as hard as taking that drone test. I can only handle one hard test a year. I'm just a girl.
And you know the difference also, if yours is good for 3 years, ours is actually good for 4 years, and then you have to renew.
For the drone?
Yeah.
For commercial usage?
Yeah. See, and because mine falls over, I had to take the drone test. And we have 90 minutes to take 65 questions. And they're multiple choice. But some of them are so close, and you have to get 65% or more.
Yeah, and our test was similar, but it was like really like you basically had to know how to be a pilot. Like it was all these questions about flight and physics and reading air charts. Like I'm not even allowed to fly my drone in commercial airspace. Why do I need to know this?
Yeah, it's like same thing. You like winds and all the stuff. I'm going, okay, I can kind of understand it. I mean, there's stuff there that was related more to flying a plane or a helicopter. It's like
100%.
And now those, of course, those are the ones I got wrong.
Yeah, same. But it gave me a lot of respect for people who do have pilot's licenses. Wow, I didn't realize how hard that was.
Oh yeah, like it's not easy. Like I took a course to help study and to go through everything, and then they also had a thing for sample questions, and I just got frustrated with that. Yeah. So I'm just going to do the test, see what happens, and luckily I passed.
Right on, man.
Because it's like I don't have the time. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, you can only study so much before your brain fills up. So just like do it, bite the bullet. Have
you considered exploring in Utah, like Bonneville or Skinwalker Ranch?
Well, I did a video at Bonneville Salt Flats once, but it was way, way back in early days of my channel. So yeah, I definitely plan to go back and do a better job. Skinwalker Ranch, there's really not much I can shoot there without trespassing. It's privately owned. I'd love to meet the guy who owns it and, you know, get in. So if you know the guy, call me. But I'd love to go back to Utah for a bunch of other stuff as well. Because, oh man, in terms of natural beauty, it's like tops. Amazing stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Someone says the first ham radio is fairly easy, first test.
Oh, okay. Well, that's in the eye of the beholder.
True. Um, okay, I don't know. Has Discovery Channel or any network approached you about a reality show?
No, unfortunately, and I wish they would, by gum. I don't know. I guess maybe one time I had some guy pitch me to the Science Network of all things.
Science Network.
Yeah, and I was like, the Science Channel. And I go, science? And he goes, oh, no, they're not. All the shows aren't hard science. There's a lot of like human interest stuff, but apparently that never went anywhere. So that was like 2-3 years ago. So no, never had any interest from channels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even really think of any of that.
Yeah.
Have you been to Australia?
I haven't, but it's funny that you bring that up. I was supposed to go last year with somebody that doesn't want to be talked about, and unfortunately COVID. So hopefully in the future, yes.
So you said that you liked, or you go on a lot of your adventures with your sister.
Yes, I do. I used to travel with her a lot. Then she got this job as a nanny where she was, unable to travel. She was caring for children during the pandemic, so she really couldn't go mix germs up. But she just finished that gig and she's back on the scene, and now we're traveling around again here and there.
But she doesn't like to be on film, right?
Doesn't like to be on camera. She's not like super crazy about it. Like I have some other friends that really don't want to be on camera. I have a lot of friends that don't want to be on camera, and it's a bummer because it's more fun to watch YouTube videos when people want to be on screen with you. But for whatever reason, I have a lot of very private friends. But my sister doesn't mind if she's like just in the background or her voice is on. But I kind of like it that way. She's like this mysterious figure, and she kind of has her own like fan base because of it. People are like, oh, when are we going to catch a glimpse of her sister?
You have 2 sisters, right?
Yeah, I have 2 sisters and a brother, and the other sister is even more never wants to be on camera, and my brother has no interest. So, and my mom, no, I'm the only one in my family who wants to do this.
Does your mom follow you?
Yeah, my mom is very loyal supporter. She might even be watching this right now. And if you are, hi mom, I love you. She like reads my comments and vets stuff out for me, and she's good people. And come to find out, both my grandmas watch my channel too. Now, not all my videos, but they do. They do watch them, and it's cool, man. I'm very lucky to be totally 100% supported by all the women in my life. It's nice.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's a family affair.
So I'm just gonna quickly go through the rest of this.
Yeah, because I gotta go. It is beer 30. Let's roll.
Yeah. Would you be interested in camping at a fire lockout?
Oh, yes, I would definitely be interested. They have those towers in the forest. I guess you can book a gig as a fire lookout and you get to live up there for months at a time.
Really?
Yeah, but you have to keep a lookout for fires. You're not up there reading and painting. I think you have to get up every few hours and scan the horizon. But I would totally camp on one of those. That'd be amazing.
Can you do it in the wintertime?
I guess. I mean, I haven't read up a lot on them, but I think some of them are kind of just out there in the woods. And so if you went out there in the winter, you could climb on up and stay if you wanted. I think some of them might even be unlocked. I'm not sure.
That'd be kind of cool.
Be super cool.
We're a little over here. What is something that you want to leave? Something you want to say? Just your last words. I don't mean last words, but
my last words. Yeah. Well, first of all, Daryl, I'd like to thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, very pleasant conversation, fun. And then I'd like to say to everybody who's watching, thank you for watching this and for following me and being so dang cool. I alluded to this earlier. I might not have the biggest channel in the world with 1 million subscribers, but by gum, everyone who follows me is so nice. I mean, I get the nicest messages from people, and it's just cool. And I want every single one of you who is watching this, even you, especially you, to know that I appreciate you and I'm thinking of all of you on every adventure I undertake.
That's awesome. It's you know what? It's been a pleasure having you. You've got so much energy. You're so pleasant.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And you know what? I've had a lot of fun.
Oh, good. Thank you. I hope I didn't make you blush too many times.
No, you didn't. I've done a lot of strange things in my life, so.
Yeah, right. I'm sure. I'm not the worst you've seen.
Cayden, stop, please. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on here, and until next time.
Okie dokie. Until next time, enjoy, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks. Bye. What a great person. I enjoy talking to people that, you know what, they enjoy life and they just have fun. And Sarah's one of those people. She loves to get out there and adventure and to just be herself. And that's what we all need, is people out there just to be themselves. And I appreciate everybody that's come here to see the interview with Sarah. And yeah, go check her channel out if you haven't already. It's pinned to the top of the channel. And it is in the description as well. Not that far down. YouTube, wonderhussy. And we are done. I appreciate all of you guys for coming by. And until next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya.